Okay, so section 9.6 is all about solving rational equations. So first, before we begin, we should review what the standard form of rational equations is. So the standard form of rational equations are always equal to 0. So no matter what it is, it'll always be something like x squared minus 6x plus 3 equals 0. It always has to equal 0. Okay, so with that in mind, one of the ways that you can solve rational equations is by solving for the x by cross-multiplying and putting into standard form. So our first example is 5 over 2x minus 2 equals 15 over x squared minus 1. So the first thing you do is cross-multiply. So you multiply the 5 with the x squared minus 1, and the 2x minus 2 by the 15, like this. Then you distribute the 5 and the 15, so you'll get 5x squared minus 5 equals 30x minus 30. Then you put it into the standard form that we reviewed at the top. So what you would do is, it doesn't really matter which side you move, but you would move everything on one side to the other side. So to move 30x minus 30 to the side of the 5x squared minus 5, you would subtract from both sides of the equation, and you would get 5x squared minus 5 minus 30x minus 30 equals 0. So that's in your standard form. Next, what you want to do is simplify. So what I did was I put all of the numbers in the order of exponents. So you'll have 5x squared minus 30x, and then your constants minus 30 minus 5, which equals minus 25 equals 0. So then you want to simplify and factor out whatever you can. So from all three numbers, you can factor out a 5. So you would write it like this: 5 and the x squared minus 6x minus 5 in the parentheses equals 0. So you would discard the 5 and you would simply get this. And then from there, what you do is you factor. So think of this as a factored polynomial. So then you'll want to put it back into those forms where you have two binomials, x minus 1 times x minus 5 equals 0. So then after that, you're going to solve for each of the x's. So x minus 1 equals 0, which is x minus 1, and x minus 5 equals 0 equals x equals 5. So your solution is actually going to be x equals 5, because when x equals 1, both denominators in the original equation are 0. The original equation is undefined at x equals 1. So x equals 1 cannot be a solution. So your solution would have to be x equals 5. So our second example is x over 2 over x minus 1 equals x plus 4 over 3. So same way, you cross multiply. So 2 times 3 equals x minus 1, x plus 4, so you'll have 6 equals, and then you have to FOIL this, so first, outer, inner, last. So you'll get x squared plus 4x minus x minus 4, because negative 1 times positive 4 is so negative. The other way to solve rational equations is by using the LCD, which is the least common denominator. So in our first example, we have 1 over 2x minus 2x over 5x equals 1/2. So this example is on page 523, and it's example 2 if you'd like to follow along. Okay, so what you want to do is multiply each side by the least common denominator. So the least common denominator is going to